A lot of us, especially those working 9 to 5, I find it very difficult to save or to invest. We're always procrastinating. For instance, I'm going to save this month, I'm going to save next month. Let me just sort out myself this year. I'm going to start saving next year. Or let me get a better salary. Let me get something that pays me times 2, times 3. I'm going to start saving. But even when we get the better job, even when we start earning times 2 of our previous salary, we still find it very difficult to save. What more investing? We are always in the same loop, the same circle, because we've already put it in our mind that we can't really save. We don't budget, we just start spending as soon as our salary comes in. So that's why if you're in these shoes, I'm going to be sharing my routine of what I do as soon as my paycheck drops. I hope this helps 1 or 2 people watching this video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Juliet. We discuss finances, investments, business and career opportunities. So if you're looking for this kind of content, you've come to the right video for you. So the first thing I do, in fact, let's just fast forward backward to a week before salary drops. One thing that I always do is to budget. I'm always lauding budgeting, and a lot of people they are always hearing budgeting, but they really don't know what budgeting is. Budgeting is simply putting all your expenses together. So for instance, let's say a week before salary drops, you can just start by writing down every single thing you think you're going to be spending money on. Like, don't be shy, don't be like, oh, maybe you have a bad habit, you spend money on some certain kind of things. Write it down, because you're budgeting your own expenses. It can be your own secret. You mustn't share your budget with anyone. Just make sure your budget is very inclusive. Include every single thing: your transportation, your feeding allowance, your clothing allowance, anything, your groceries, anything you think you might be needing for that month. Make sure it's included in your budget. My budget includes every single thing I would be needing, including the domestic staffs I pay to help out around the house. So anything you're going to be needing that month, if you're going to be paying salary, if you're going to be traveling somewhere, travel expenses, your fuel or transportation costs for work, or anything that you feel like you're going to spend money on, just put it down. And then when you put it down, make sure you write an accurate price. You might not be maybe so certain or so sure of how much that thing costs. That's why you add an additional cost. So make sure you add something, the accurate amount that you feel like you're going to be spending on that. For instance, let's say you feel like in a month you spend 50,000 on transportation. Your budget should be around 60,000 or 65,000. Same with what you spend on fuel, on what you spend on groceries. The groceries, I would advise you break them down. If you're going to be spending on perfumes, toiletries, clothes wash, anything you feel like you're going to be needing that month, just write it down. It's going to actually help you and know the ratio of your salary you spend on yourself. You're going to also be adding some miscellaneous expenses, as some unforeseeable expenses might come up within that month, and you don't want to be digging into your savings or investment to sort those bills. So write every single thing you know you'll be needing that month, and also add additional cost to each of the items. After doing this, you're going to calculate every single thing you've added on that list and see what it costs. Is it way above what you earn? Is it equal to what you earn? Is it up to 80% of what you earn? Is it up to 50% of what you earn? I would always advise people, your expenses for that month should be within 40 to 50% of what you earn. If possible, less, but highest at most 50%. If it's above 50%, you need to cut down your list. So let's assume your own budget is way above 50%, maybe 60 is 80 is 100% of your salary. You have to go back to your list. Look at your list again. Check your list. I know that sometimes you added some expenses, like maybe eating out twice a week or 3 times a week. Some things that you feel like they are not so necessary, you need to start cutting them down. For instance, if you added eating out twice a month, you can reduce it to eating out once a month. Or some things that you feel like, oh, you can do without, you don't really need it that much, you can just cut it off the list, because you need your expenses to be equal to or less than 50% of your earnings for that month. So you go over your list again, take out things that are not necessary, or things that you feel like you can do without out of the list. You can go over your budget over and over. That's why you start your budgeting, let's say a week before your salary comes in, to give you time to be able to go over your list over and over again until you get an amount that is 50% or less than 50% of what you're currently earning. After budgeting, so you know that okay, maybe your expenses that month is 50% of your earning. For me, I use the 50-30-20 rule. It works perfectly for me. I make sure I only save 30% of my salary, and most times my savings always serve as my investment, because I always endeavor to put my savings in a very high interest deposit account. So if you're the kind of person that maybe you don't feel so confident about starting to invest yet, you can make your savings can serve as your investments, because there are lots of savings accounts that give up to 15% interest per annum, 12%, 18% interest per annum. In my videos, I'm going to be sharing those platforms here. So now let's move. Okay, let's say the week is over and today is payday and your salary has dropped. Yay! I know you're going to be tempted. Oh, salary has dropped, I need this, I need to buy this, I need to. Don't do that. Like, that's a no. If you do that, you're not going to stick to your budget. You're going to spend money on every single thing you see, every single thing you need, every single thing you want, which is very wrong. You do not want to do that, because you're going to go way above your budget. So when your salary comes in, let's say you're at work or this, I know you might think that, oh, I've worked so hard, I deserve this money, let me buy for myself something nice. Yes, you're going to get yourself something nice, but just take a chill pill, like just calm down a little first. So salary comes in, go about your work. I feel like you should not do anything to your salary, maybe till you get home and maybe calm down, take a bit or something. So let's say your salary has come in. I know lots of people are owing already right now, so you need to clear up some debts and do other things. That's good, but aside that, you just need to calm down. When you get home, make sure you move the fund for savings. If it's 20%, if it's 30%, 15%, whatever you feel comfortable saving, you move it to a savings account. And most savings accounts has lock on it, so you will not even be able to access it for some time. So if you're using a savings account that you're able to access whenever you want to, but I advise you to use a savings account that you don't have like access to, maybe only limited access to that account. So move your 30% or your 40, your 20%, whatever amount percentage of your salary you feel like saving, move it into your savings account. So yes, you know that, oh, you've kept something this month. Then you go ahead and maybe you purchase it's very advisable when you're living within a budget. This is not for people that have like multiple sources of income and they have lots of money already to spend on things. But when you're maybe you're working 9 to 5 and your earning is it's limited, it's very crucial to always stick to your budget. So when you're buying your groceries, make sure you stick to your budget, and it's very advisable that you buy things in large quantities, because it will help you budget, not help you save, because you still use those things. It will help you budget yourself properly during the month. So you buy your groceries, everything you might be needing that month, in large quantities, and store them at your apartment. And also remember to use them in small quantities, because you're not going to be buying anything of that nature for that month again. So one thing again I would discourage 9 to 5 earners from taking is this loan, either salary advance. I know it's very tempting, because you're working and you have access to loans, like you can just take loans. It's only advisable for you to take loan if you want to buy maybe assets. If you want to buy a car, if you want to buy landed property, or you want to start a business, because you know you're taking the loan for something crucial, or you're taking the loan to be able to earn more income. But if you're taking a loan to feed yourself or like to buy regular things, that means you need another job. You need to start looking for another job. That's just one important thing. Just be truthful to yourself. Okay, so this is the spending part. You're spending on your groceries, everything you need, and the spending part starts from the payday to the end of the next month. So you're going to be spending on transportation. Also, always make sure that what you spend on your transport is within the budget you have already put on this thing. So don't just be going anywhere at random or somewhere you know you can walk to. You're just going to be taking transport to that place. Always make sure what you budgeted for your transport is what you're going to spend for your transportation that month. Always live within your budget. Then now let's look at what we have kept aside for savings. So as I stated earlier, my savings serve as my investment. For some people, they have savings and they also invest in government bonds, mutual funds, like monthly. So that can work for you. You can do 30% for savings and then 20% for your investments and other things. But if you're using a high interest deposit account that maybe the interest rate is up to 18%, 50%, and you want it to also work as your savings, good and fine for you. That would be very crucial. I think that's basically the necessary steps you need to take when you earn your salary or your payments. You need to also avoid loans, and you need to start building an emergency fund, because sometimes some expenses come in that can even consume your total amount of salary, if not times 2 of it. If you've watched this video to this point, kindly like, comment and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.